지금 어디 가시는 거예요?
지금 작업실에 작업하러 갑니다. 마사지도 가끔 해줘야 돼. 혈액순환에 좋고. 얘가 원래 제일 먼저 있었던 애인데 얘가 너무 외로울까봐 이제 얘네들 형제들 만들어줬거든요.
아, 얘네들이 형제들이에요?
네.
형제들이 되게 많네요.
형제들.
이 아이들 낳으실 때 힘드셨겠어요?
네, 힘들었죠. 근데 얘네들은 우리가 생각하는 그렇게 막 배로 아파서 낳은 자식들이 아니라
네.
가슴으로 낳은 자식들이에요.
가슴?
가슴.
왜 그러세요? 지금 뭐 하시는 거죠?
지금.
지금 뭐 하시는 거예요, 지금? 왜 갑자기 그림을 그리세요?
지금 가슴이 너무 아픈데.
네.
지금.
I feel like I might cry about it, you know, like once you start talking about it. I mean, to me, my studio is like my second home in a sense. If I wasn't in my dorm, I was in my studio. If I wasn't in the studio, I was in my dorm. I mean, it was a place where I could not only create art, but I could come together to be a part of a community of friends and people and a collective that just made me feel at home.
I don't know, it was the place to have fun. It's like a playground full of stuff and it's also like a protective space where you can just make things and no one's gonna look at them or you hide them before anyone gets there. You just get to, you know, make good stuff, make bad stuff, just make stuff. You know?
It was kind of like my second life. You know, I have my normal life, and then I have like this whole second life where I spent just doing the little weird things that I do. You know,
and it was awesome just to be able to walk around and see what everybody was doing in their own little space and see how they created it. I feel like every little studio had their own personality.
For me, it was an extension of the outdoors, I think. I mean, I didn't ever think about that before, but like right off the top of my head, it was an extension of like being out in like Central Park, for example, being outside. And I think that's what I brought kind of to my practice. So.
At around 2 a.m. on February 15th, a fire ripped through the 6th floor of Pratt's main building. Nearly the entire senior class of Pratt's painting majors had studios on this floor. The majority of the studios were completely demolished, while other students' work, including sophomores and juniors on the 5th floor below, had heavy water damage and possible heat damage to their work.
And then I saw someone running towards my direction and I asked what happened and he said the studios had burned down. And I walked to the studios and I saw the crew of people working and I saw the building was burned. And I had like a panic attack. I just couldn't talk. And I went to Mike's and I sat there and I cried to my friends in Spanish.
What did you have in your studio? What were some of the things you lost?
Okay. Whew. I lost every drawing I did, you know, and I had in my studio like a collection of the materials that I had, you know, the things that I collect from like Central Park and all of my friends, their detritus from their studios, and in my studio, you among, I don't know how many other people had made small pieces for me because I was going to do a bigger piece from everyone's work, so that got all destroyed.
we lost everything. Well, I take that back. There's a couple things that I had in my own personal house, but yeah, I would probably say I have maybe 3 pieces that I've ever made, and everything else is gone.
All of the money from this Indiegogo account will fund a massive gallery show for the victims of this fire at the end of the semester. Any extra proceeds will be passed on to the Pratt Painting and Drawing Clubs to fund future generations of fine arts shows for the Pratt students. Are you excited to get back into another studio and start working again?
I am. It's sort of, I think losing it all it's sad for a while and then you just get excited to start fresh and see what comes from it.
I think, you know, despite how sad and you know, all the negative aspects of it, there's so much good that's already coming out of it. We are already a community, we are so much tighter.
You know, as a group, I think we're coming together over that to have a really fine show for all of us.
I think it's going to be a great show because, I mean, it's not one or two students collaborating a small gallery space. It's a collective of 35 kids plus teachers plus school officials that are going to come together to find a space and produce a spectacular show that's really going to represent what that floor was all about, what that community was all about, what our art was all about.
We're artists. Artists have the necessity to make things and feel adversity for us. It's hard for everyone, but we always have our work. I mean, we always have the capacity to make the work, and we have the knowledge we've learned before in our minds and in our hands and in our hearts. We can make the work again.